So this house, this exact house, or anywhere in Orange County, gone like this. So it's really the area that's kept this from being rented out. It's kept it vacant for this long, right, Christian? Does that worry you though? Is this like expected?
It doesn't necessarily worry me, right? Because even when I get into these deals and I find a location like this, I am actually anticipating it for it to take longer than usual, right, to get into it. Now I have a backup plan. So just so you know, this money that I bought this house with, they're actually lending it to me for up to 2 years.
Oh.
Okay? So I don't have to pay it back for 2 years. So let's say that today I decide, you know what? I'm okay. I don't want to sell it. I'm gonna wait.
Right.
I'm gonna wait for the economy to get better. I'm gonna wait for the market to get better. Whatever I decide, I can always just rent it out, and I don't have the expense. I could start cash flowing. Now I'll tell you though, if you're in that position, right, the sooner you ask for help, the better.
Interesting.
The sooner you ask for help, the better.
Okay.
Right? Ask your network. Go find somebody at meetups that's doing the same thing or a higher volume than you, and just kind of talk them through it. Say, hey, look, this is my problem. What would you do? And see what kind of ideas that they gave you, what kind of solutions that they came up with in the past. Maybe they want to buy one off you. Maybe they know somebody that could be a good asset for you in that location to help you get that one across the finish line. But ask for help. Don't be afraid to ask for help. That's what the biggest mistake people make. They don't ask for help until they're deep in problems, and now they're up to here and they want to ask for help.
Right.
When if you were here and you ask for help, it's more likely for you to get the help. I don't have to pay these people back yet. That's part of the reason why I'm here. I'm trying to see, okay, if I rent it out, whether it's a need still, right? That might be something I do. I might end up renting it room by room, right? It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, right? So I could get maybe like 600 to 700 for each room, and then the one with the bathroom, I could probably get 900 to 1,000. So I'll rent one, and then the other thing I like here is that it has an RV spot. It has a nice RV spot. So aside from renting this, I can rent that out for another 300, 400 for somebody that just has an RV, needs a place to plug in.
Before you came into this deal, you were thinking multiple exit strategies. You're thinking renting a pad split, even as an RV. So do you look for that in everything?
I look at that in everything.
Okay.
That's my main thing that I want to look out for, because things happen. Right? So sometimes I jump into a subject to deal. I'm already thinking, okay, let's say my plan is to wrap it, but if I rent it, what happens? If I do a midterm rental, how much can I get? If I rent it room by room, how much can I get? I sell it on the market, how much could I get? Right? The last one I bought in Garland, I bought it and it's a great rental. I'm gonna end up cash flowing like $800. But here's the kicker: I can turn around right now and list that property, and I can make $40,000 to $60,000 on the market right now.
Okay.
Right? So I have a backup. So I can rent it out. Sure, that's my preferred exit strategy. But if something happened where, okay, I don't want to keep it anymore or whatever, that doesn't work out, I can just turn around and sell it and get equity out of it. So you always have to have that, right? Because, one of the things with this business, right, things are going to come up that are unsuspected a lot of times, and you have to be able to pivot.
Right. You say you anticipate, it's like a whole time of how long would you say for a wrap?
Realistically, if you're trying to get a good interest rate, it's going to be, 3 to 4 months.
3 to 4 months. Have you ever been in a situation where you were in a deal and you start feeling like it's getting out of control, that you thought you were supposed to be here, it was supposed to be here, and now all of a sudden it's unexpected?
Oh, it happens. It happens all the time, and it will happen again, and there's going to be nothing you could do to stop it. I can tell you that last year, at the end of last year, a lot of investors took a hit.
Right.
A lot of investors took a big hit because, especially on fix and flips, because the market dropped and the market shifting, and people were more hesitant to buy homes, so their homes were lasting longer in the market. So all of these things really made things slow down a lot,
Right.
and people ended up losing money. When that happened for me, I had a house listed for about 9 months. I couldn't sell it for 9 months.
Wow.
I was anticipating, and when I went into it and I bought the home, the area of the house was 520, right?
520.
At this condition that I had it, it's probably worth like 480.
Right.
I thought I was gonna sell it quickly, so I started listing at 460. The market shifted, the market dropped. I couldn't end up selling at 460. I ended up selling that house at 420. Ended up losing $16,000.
Man. So what do you do when you take a loss like that? I feel like anybody that's losing that much money that quickly, you get your hopes up and drop like water through your fingers. What do you do in those situations full of stress, full of anxiety? Like, how do you handle it?
I'll tell you, when that happened, right, I was happy. I was happy that it finally sold. I was happy that I got that off my back, and I was happy that it was only $16,000. It could have been more. It could have sat longer. It could have gone to foreclosure, right? There's so many worse things that could have happened if it didn't sell and I didn't. So in that sense, in that regards, I was happy that it got done. I was happy that it got to the finish line, even if it was some money that was lost. Now, you're thinking, okay, well, why would I even get into this business if there's a chance I could lose $16,000? Really, you just got to get more wins than you get losses. At the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. If that's your only deal, you could end up in trouble, right? But for me, I got some volume, so I'm doing 5 to 6 other deals. So that month, I probably ended up making net in my pocket maybe $65,000.
Okay.
Even considering that loss. Right. So all these other deals that happened to me that went well kind of lifted me up and put me in a good place. But if you had 3 deals, 4 deals that you lost money on, that could happen. So you have to check with your risk tolerance. That's why some properties I just wholesale, right? Because I know I got too much on my plate right now. For example, right now I'm in a place where I'm not taking any more properties.
Oh, okay.
I have this one. I have one in Corpus Christi. I have the one in Garland that I just told you that I bought as a rental. I have one in San Antonio that I bought as a rental that right now my cousin's working on replacing the flooring. I have another one in San Antonio right off of Lackland that needs to be rented. This one I'm closing on at the end of the month, right? At the end of next month. So I say this to say this, I have all these, and there's a lot to manage, a lot of moving pieces, right? So I'm not willing to take another one until these are done. Okay. These are done. Now maybe I rent one of them, sell 2 of them. Now I have 2 left to manage. I can take on more properties then. But at this point, I'm not comfortable taking on more. Because I told you I have 5 properties that I need to stabilize.
Yeah, okay, interesting.
So I'm not gonna put something else on my plate right now. I'm just not. Now when these happen, I'll start looking for deals again. Once these close and I get these headed out, I'm gonna start looking for deals again. But right now, if I buy 2, 3, 4 more, that's what could put me into trouble. That's what could put me in a position where I'm over leveraged and I can't ask for help. Now, here's the kicker. Out of these 5 properties, once they're all rented and they all start cash flowing and everything's moving with them, my cash flow ends up, going up by $4,000.
What would be your best advice to somebody that didn't consider risk tolerance and just kept acquiring properties, and they start feeling stressed, they start feeling the pressure, they start realizing that everything is happening?
This is it's kind of like chess, right? All you can really do is do the best next move that you can, right? Okay. So if that means unloading one of them, if it means renting one of them, if it means renting one of them at a lower rate just to get somebody in there to get off that payment, like whatever that means, right? Maybe you need to do it with one of them, but really, it's scenario by scenario, right? There's other property, the one in San Antonio, my private money for that one's only there for 3 months. So there's more urgency there because I need to pay it back in 3 months. I need to get moving in 3 months. Right? So in something like that, sure, I have more urgency than on something like this.
For somebody starting off in real estate, would you say starting off as a landlord is a huge risk move?
It could, yes. I think so. A better beginner strategy is the wrap. If you're looking for cash flow, this is how it works in the wrap. You buy the house, right? And when you sell it, you get all the money back that you spent, right? So you get all your money back, you get some profit, and then you're getting monthly payments. When you're a wrap, you don't own the house anymore. The other person owns the house. The other person is responsible for all the repairs, and you're just a bank. All you're doing is getting the monthly payment every month.
Okay.
And you're still cash flowing. You're still going to cash flow for the next 30 years. So if your goal's cash flow.
Switching topics here. Do you think winners are born? You're born a winner, or can anyone be a winner?
No, man. You only lose when you quit, right?
Okay.
So if you start, you do one, you get your ass kicked on the deal, and you quit. You lost. You're a loser. But realistically, if you just keep on going, okay, you get your ass kicked on one deal, but you're like, you know what, I learned this and I learned that, so I'm not doing that again. Next time you get into a deal, you're not gonna make the same mistake, so you're gonna be more likely to go well. You know, and then you get into another one, and you get into another one. You know, everybody takes losses. If you think that you're gonna come into this business and not take losses, you have the wrong mindset. You are gonna take some losses. You have to be okay losing some money to make a lot of money. You have to be okay losing some money. So you have to be willing to take some of the risk.
A big key to success in this business is being able to self-discipline yourself. That way, I have this many deals already on my plate, and this is a really great deal, but I'm just gonna let it go. I'm gonna be okay with letting it go, let somebody else make money on this because my plate is full. Did you grow that as you grew in the business, or did you come into it with it?
I came into it with it, and only because a lot of the properties I buy is with private money.
Oh, okay.
People think private money is free money.
Right.
Private money is not free money.
Right.
Private money, really, you should take it more seriously than even using your own money. Right? I'm okay losing money. I'm okay losing my money, but I'm not okay losing other people's money.
Right.
So if I bought a house using somebody else's money, there's extra attention to that house. There's extra effort to that house. I'm doing everything to make sure that that gets done before all my other ones, just because I prioritize paying the lender so much.
Right.
That's my top priority, paying the lenders back. Me, I always thought that was the most important thing, right? Because, you know, having a good reputation with your lenders, paying your lenders on time, just doing everything you said you were gonna do, because that's really what's gonna get you on more deals. In 3 months, when I sell all of these, I'm not gonna have any single problem finding money again to buy them and to get them going. I'm not. Why? Because all these people that I got on these deals, I'm gonna pay them on time, and they're gonna be happy, they're gonna be excited to do it again with me. And that's more important to me than getting more and more and getting my plate more full than I could really handle.
So one thing you mentioned is that you have to be willing to ask for help, and I think what keeps a lot of people from doing that is pride. Just they don't want to admit that they were wrong. They don't want to admit that they made a mistake. They don't want to admit that they were not enough in their head enough to get this done. That's how they see it. So somebody like that, do you think losses are necessary to humble them down to the necessary level?
If you have that mindset, that's the only thing that's gonna help you. Just taking some in the chin. Like, some people don't get to that point where they're gonna ask for help until they take the loss, until they take so much losses that they can't bear with it anymore. So some people need that, and a lot of times, look, I give somebody advice, and they don't take it, and they don't take it until they take the loss, and they come back and they say, what was that you told me? You know, but that's because of it, because of the pride, because of everything else, you know.
I see that a lot with wholesalers. I see it's heavy in the wholesale community. People just lock things up too high and don't want to admit it. People don't want to admit that the rehab is actually this much. They ran their numbers wrong. The whole deal's wrong from the beginning, and they don't want to let go. They just shop it around and shop it around. What would be your best advice to wholesalers like that?
I'll tell you this. In a wholesale transaction, there's a lot of moving pieces.
Right.
There's escrow officer, there's agent, there's the investor, there's the lenders, right? There's the buyers, all these moving pieces. So the way I see real estate investing is as a team sport, right?
Right.
You have to be okay kind of working as a team to get some of this stuff done. And if you're a wholesaler, right, and you don't have that mindset, you're gonna lose a lot more deals, right? Why? Because let's say that I have a deal and I put it out to my buyers and nobody wants it. I can be stubborn and I can keep on calling them and see if someone will take it. Or I can reach out to somebody and maybe make half, but actually close the deal. Actually get some money in my account. JV and actually get it done. And I do that a lot. There's sometimes where I don't find the buyer, somebody else finds the buyer. And there's sometimes where they don't find the buyer and I find the buyer, right? We just have different relationships with different people.
Right.
But if you're stubborn like that and you're like, no, I want 100% each time, you're gonna lose some. You're gonna miss some.
So just because you couldn't find the buyer doesn't necessarily mean you're not good enough or you're a loser, any of that.
None of it. I mean, finding a buyer, it's a job on its own.
Right.
You gotta think about it like this. Okay, you're wholesaling and first job you do is marketing. Right, so you're marketing out to people, right? Then the second job you have to learn is you have to learn how to talk to these sellers. Now that you got them on the hook, how do you close them? That's a whole nother job. So you can spend so much time and so much energy getting good at this, and when you finally get a contract, guess what? You should have spent time making relationships with buyers.
Right.
You should have spent time finding this. Realistically, you may not have the time because all the time you had, you spent it doing this, doing the marketing, and getting good at calling sellers.
Right.
So that third piece, you never have time to actually do it, right? So it's not necessarily that you're a loser. You just didn't have the time to get a biggest buyers list or work on that. And that comes with time, right? Little by little, you get more deals. You start marketing, right? People start knowing who you are. They start reaching out. You start growing your buyers list. But it's not going to happen from the beginning. So from the beginning, if you're starting out and that happens, you reach out to 3-4 buyers that you did know they don't want it. Reach out to a wholesaler. Reach out to somebody that's been in the business longer. More likely than not, they're going to have a bigger buyer list than you. And a lot of times people think that JV, you're going to get less money. That's not necessarily the truth. A lot of times, I might have a buyer that's going to pay $10,000 more than your buyer, $15,000 more than your buyer. That's right. Really going to end up netting you more money in your pocket. You have to be okay working with people to even get to them.
Do you think somebody that's watching this that isn't in the sub-2 community, would you say that you had most of your success because you were in sub-2? Do you think you can have this much success just working through the world, networking, meetups, Facebook, wherever else?
I'll tell you the one thing that I took off of sub-2, was this. I started understanding, okay, this is a team sport, and I just need to find all the other people that are going to fill in those roles for me to help me. And in sub-2, the thing that benefited me is that there was a lot of people thinking this way.
Oh.
So it was easy for me to find the pieces, and they were okay just holding that role for that deal.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
So if I understood that and I was out in the world, I'd do just fine. It may be harder to find other people that are having the same mindset to work as a team and work together in deals to get them across the finish line. But at the end of the day, I end up finding somebody and I'd be okay. But it's about having the mindset and being okay and seeking that.
Right. I agree. No, I definitely agree. I think the sub-2 community is special and it thrives because of the way Pace Morby leads. He's super open to working with people and he's super transparent at the same time. And so that kind of motivates the rest of us to be the same way. One of my final questions would just be, so where do you think you could better maximize your own business so you could boost your growth?
Yeah, right now, so a lot of my business comes from JVs, but if you want to grow and you want to plug yourself out of the business, you need to run a lot of your own marketing. Having a good PPC model, having good texting campaigns going and getting that automated so that you're not doing it, maybe you have a VA doing it, and then eventually you're not calling all the sellers, you got another person calling the sellers for you. Really, what you want to do is you want to create a system. Okay? You want to create a system. When this happens, I do this. When this happens, I do that. When this happens, I do that, right? Once you have a system, you have the people, your employees plugging into that system. And that's the only way that you're going to be able to plug yourself out of wholesaling.
Right.
If not, wholesaling is great, and it is a lot of big checks, but it's a job. It's not something that you're going to be able to just go on vacation and still make money, right? Unless you have a system in place and you have people in those roles so that they do the jobs while you're out doing something.
I appreciate your time, Christian. Appreciate answering all the questions and let's go make some money, bro.
Let's go, man.